What is going on, guys? It is Laker Nation all day. You know how we do it in here. It's all about us. And let me just cut straight to the chase, man. The Lakers choked. The Lakers had the lead the entire game from quarter 1 to 4. And then the Grizzlies finally took their first lead of the game in the fourth quarter. And that was their first lead since what? When they're up 2-0. And the Lakers, right, this game isn't over. It's, Grizzlies 99, Lakers 92 with 4.5 to play. John Morant just hit a three. I'm just assuming that the Lakers are going to lose. And it's honestly just frustrating. Because what this comes down to is that they had another opportunity to build on something, right? They beat Houston last game, which was a good win. They were up the entire game against Memphis, and now they're choking it. Now they're letting that progress get away from them. I can't even talk about the COVID cases and all that stuff anymore because what this comes down to is that the Lakers just could not get the job done in the fourth quarter, right? They're being outscored 21-9 in the fourth quarter. I'm going to go over specific players, but what I'm just going to say is it's frustrating, it's deflating, it's annoying because every single time it seems like the Lakers are making progress, to build something special, they always end up taking a step back. Whether it's them choking games like this, like how they have been, against the Blazers, against the Timberwolves, right? We've seen it. Or if it's just games like that COVID has taken, our players away. But this one was more so on us, and honestly, it's just frustrating because I predicted that the Lakers are going to win this game. They look like the better team the entire game. But this is what the league is now, It doesn't matter how much you're up by and how long you're up by. It always comes down to the fourth quarter. And usually, after the performance they had last game in the fourth quarter, I'm like, okay, you know what? I was pretty confident that the Lakers are going to win this game. But no, they did not win this game. And I'm going to go over specific players, but let me start off with Russell Westbrook, okay? Before the fourth quarter, he had a great game. He was dishing out the ball. He had 10 assists before the fourth, right? But as soon as the fourth quarter arrived, he just started turning the ball over. It's because the Lakers started panicking, and it wasn't just Westbrook, but Westbrook was one of the players who they couldn't find any offense, so they were trying to force it down in the paint or whatever the case was, and Westbrook had a couple of turnovers, an air ball, right? He was panicking, and the other Laker players, although it wasn't shown on their face, they were panicking. You can just see by the selections they've made and the passes, in the shots, and it just ruined a good game from Westbrook because, I don't care if you play good from quarters 1 through 3. If you don't play well in the fourth and your team loses, then overall I believe you had a bad game. And that's what Westbrook had. He just turned the ball over too many times when it mattered most. And, he just didn't make anything when it mattered most as well. So Westbrook didn't necessarily have the best game when it mattered. Okay, I always defend Westbrook. I believed he had a great game prior to the fourth quarter. But it was just frustrating to see that they're trying to force things in the paint or whatever the case was because their offense was anemic with the THT fadeaway and the LeBron fadeaway and the Westbrook air ball. Like it was disgusting. The Grizzlies were looking like the 2004 Pistons in terms of the defensive end against us in the fourth quarter. LeBron James, another great game, quarters 1 through 3 at least. 32 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists, 11 of 21 from the field, 7 out of 11 from the three-point line. LeBron tried to do it all once again, and he's playing amazing. He is playing amazing, and keep in mind, these stats are not final, but what I'm simply saying is that LeBron has gone off. This is his sixth straight game with 30-plus points. It's got to come to a point where he's got to lessen the load, and it's upsetting because this game should have been a win, and I hate how every time LeBron does this, we lose. It doesn't sit right with me because LeBron's putting so much energy, so much effort out there, and his body will break down eventually. It's just a matter of when, right? So when you have these kind of performances from LeBron, you really need to capitalize on those and win this game. You got to take care of business. You can't let the Grizzlies beat you in the fourth quarter. You are winning quarters 1 through 3, and you see it on the screen at the end of the third. They're winning by 5. At the end of the halftime, they're winning by 6. They were in control. They were winning by double digits, and they choked it. And LeBron's great performance was just gone to waste because ultimately he didn't necessarily play all that well in the fourth quarter either. So no one's going to be talking about his great performance because him and the Lakers just couldn't get it done in the fourth quarter. A couple of other players I want to note down. I like the defense. I know it's kind of hard to say since we did choke the lead, but ultimately I do believe that our defense was significantly better. I do think that we should sign Stanley Johnson and Darren Collison to a year contract because they have looked great for us. Darren Collison has looked pretty good for us on the defensive end. Stanley Johnson is just someone who can put in effort, hustle, shows energy, defends. I mean, any team could use a Stanley Johnson, and I believe that that's what the Lakers need to do moving forward because honestly, like seeing this team sometimes when they don't show effort, that's when you need a player like Darren Collison. That's when you need a player like Stanley Johnson. And then just a couple other players I wanted to touch up on. Carmelo. I mean, he had an off night, right? People are trash talking Carmelo now. Stop it. Everyone has an off night, and he's shooting 2 of 11. I get all that, and he had some open looks too. So what I'm just saying is, yes, we choked this game, but think about it. We're in a position to win with Carmelo playing the way that he was and THT playing the way that he was. So this team has a lot of potential, but the reason why I'm upset is because they can't keep choking games like this. They got to capitalize on these opportunities. When opportunities are being handed to them in a sense, close the deal and win the game. Because now the Lakers are going to be 17-19 as opposed to 18-18. And now they won't be able to get that winning streak going. It's just a matter of finding consistency. And the longer it takes, the worse it gets. So the Lakers need to do something. I mean, they just need to get their act together. They need to be able to close games like this. And I understand the Grizzlies are a top 4 team in the West right now, but when you're winning the way that you are, had you guys won this game, it would have been a statement win. But choking in the fourth quarter just goes to show that you guys still have a lot of growth to do, and it's annoying. It's annoying. I understand there's COVID. I understand there's injuries, but stop it. Stop choking leads. Stop the offense. Stop. Do something better at the offense. I could play better offense in the fourth quarter than what the Lakers were doing in the fourth quarter. Seriously. It's pathetic. But on to the next one, because this is what it's all about, right? This is the reality of the situation, is that we are no longer on a win streak. We got to go back to LA, and hopefully we can get another winning streak going. Not that we had a winning streak going, it was only one game, but it was so hard to come across wins. But that's all I have for this video, man. If you guys enjoyed it, drop a like. Comment down below what your guys' thoughts were on the game. What are your thoughts on the Lakers choking? I mean, honestly, they were up the whole game, and then they blew it, right? So let me know your thoughts and subscribe more. Alright, guys? Peace out. And as always, go Lakers.